Yeah, I mean, unless he's turning into a bad guy, I don't know. These don't have any glamours worth, do they? What am I doing? Yeah, no. Same thing. Our friends, the very isle itself, everyone and everything. No, it avails us not to speculate. Your Ranger will send word if there are any developments. Until such time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on that which is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. It concerns etheric fluctuations which we had previously attributed to good King Mogomog the 12th. May his excellence be praised. That the king is no more is a blessing for which we have you to thank. Yet all is not well in the 12's wood. Our latest readings reveal an ongoing etheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Oh my god, I gave him just in time. Oh no, we already did the Mogomog. Yeah, no, that was, I think that was like the, somewhere in 2.1 type stuff. Boy, was that a hell for me to try to tank. Like ultimately it was easy, but because I was the main tank, all I had to do was the boss. It was like whatever. But the order that I had to remember in killing each of the Muggles was chaotic. It's just chaos. It really is. Like, thankfully, someone in that group I was in tagged them with like 1, 2, 3, 4 and all that stuff. But and I had my notes on my second screen from videos I'd watched, but it was still like nerve-wracking. Needless to say, the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation, and I would have you, Esquilia, I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees hailing from Ul'dah this time are come to Revenant's Toll seeking asylum. It would seem they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave the Domans. At present, they are in the 7th heaven, awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhap this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Hi. Hi, Hedgehog King, Pie King. I had no idea what was happening in that Moogle when it all happened so fast. It was something else. The music was hilarious, though. Esquilia, you know full well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider what will happen if you do this. Word will spread and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear their suit. Teha, I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. I hope Mandy is in a group that's forgiving and doesn't just, whether they know what to do or not. I just hope that it's not a clusterfuck. Yeah, I mean that should help you and Seneca, but I forget how many is in that group. Like 8 people total. So at least if Seneca tanks, that should be a great help. I'm well aware of our resources. Yes, quite the intrigue. We'll be fine. Fast forward a month later, after 5 wipes, Mandy finally curses on stream. These fucking Mughals. Oh, there we are. Wait, we're in the 7th heaven. I'm dumb. Imagine if that's what got her to swear. All these cute little fluffy thingies. That's the fight that gets her to be a Moogle hater. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Minfilia, and I lead the Scions of the 7th Dawn. 12 be praised. It is you. We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. Pray calm yourselves. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know not of your situation. Beg your pardon, antecedent. I ain't so good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Ul'dah for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one that what got took. They say there's work, but there's not for an honest man. Not as one wouldn't sully his soul sooner than his palms any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us up. They climbed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. I knew we had to run, the only question was where. And then it came to me, Revenant's Toll. I mean, you took them foreigners in, didn't you? So you'd surely do the same for us. Oh boy. Alright, good King Mogomog, you fucker. I fear the situation is rather more complicated. While it is true that we accepted the Doman's petition for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it is not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity. And so it is with great regret that I must deny your request. Oh, this is gonna be a problem. But we've nowhere else to go. You're turning your back on us? If I might have a word. Tataru, is aught amiss? Ill tidings from Ul'dah, my lady. Alphinaud has been wounded. What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild, apparently, lashing out at any and everyone. Blech, English. That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. 7 hells. Now the Blades have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. Antecedent, please, if you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got. My lady. We are not ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding this riot, I'm not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alphinaud, and quickly. If he is in danger or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. Thank you. Pray do not concern yourself with the matter we are discussing earlier. Yida and Papalamo will see to it. Alphinaud is being treated at the Hourglass. Hurry, Teha. Yeah, don't worry, I'll just Aetheryte teleport my ass. Me and my trusty Warkson will get the job done. Actually, I'm hearthed over there, so I may as well just use that. Buy that little femboy immediately. He must be protected at all costs. Right. And of course, because these people never go to sleep, I always see them here. Always. I said this on stream, on a previous stream. There was someone, it was like a full row, and someone behind them was brooming. Like, I don't know. It just seemed funny to see someone looking like a custodian sweeping up in the middle of the night while they're dancing up a storm. Where am I? Should probably just... yeah. It's a long shot saying this now this early in, but I do want to eventually at least touch every job and what's it called? Hand and land type job, basically. Because like seeing people play music and then seeing videos and live streams of people play music in the game is beautiful, but I really want to know how they make that work so well. I want to get a bard just to do it. Yeah, same. I worked out the bard tool.
You must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well.
I worked out the bard's tool that everyone uses last night, and I spent literally all day playing music in Gridania. Nice. I crave the attention so much. Every time I get applause, it's like my heart is ready to stop. I'm done. Jeez. I can understand that. If, you know, in real life you're on stage and you love that sort of attention. I'm not really that kind of person, which is ironic since I'm live streaming, but yeah, I can see it. What's the matter with you, Alpha Nut?
Ul'dah, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident.
Said you were injured. What's going on?
There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over.
I like how Momodi in the background is like, I'm just minding my own business behind the counter.
Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Ul'dan, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity?
I don't know.
Plainly,
it's rough.
There is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'dan way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Ul'dans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers. While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest. Nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
Alright. Whoa. Suddenly minions appear. As I told you before, it was all but inevitable that an incident of this kind would eventually occur given the rising tensions within the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reason to believe that this particular riot may not have begun spontaneously. Have I piqued your curiosity? Good. Then you will accompany me to the Hall of Flames. I would hear what General Reborn has to say upon the matter. Oh, there he is. Now is not a good time, Teha. My hands are full dealing with the refugees. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Alphinaud, back on your feet already. You might credit my swift recovery to your chirurgians. Okay. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation. Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remain throughout Thanalan. We have sent what forces we can spare to root out the last of the belligerents, but progress is slow. They are damnably elusive. I can well imagine, given the majority of refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason that they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little accident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, and not with butcher's knives and pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. I need hardly add that such equipment is costly. None can deny that tensions between the Ul'dan citizenry and the refugee population have increased since the Domans were turned away. But would that not motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who have not even a single gil to spend? Who could not survive without the aid provided by the Immortal Flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against their benefactors. Come to the point. Very well. My point, General, is that this powder keg of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion, and now order must be restored. That is my first duty. Until it is done, any investigation can wait. I do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning anon. Well, the general is no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim without necessary proof that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monetarists would accuse him of attempting to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Teha. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation. independent of the authorities. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlements suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. He may balk at the request for such information, but I have no doubt that you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I don't have a silver tongue. I literally do the Twitch emote nodders. Like 85% of the time I want to communicate with another human being. I meanwhile shall seek answers in my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? It's exactly what it is. Look as though you have something to say, Teha, do you? What you ask is no simple favor. Were such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom in your words. An able individual may be better suited to this task than a regiment. Very well. The Brass Blades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin by speaking to the Blades posted there. Alright. And what brings you here, adventurer? The search for refugees? Well then, you've come to the right place. Excuse my bird covering. Wait, I'm inside of him. What the hell? Anyways, my Workson will speak for me. Ah, you mean those refugees? Oh no, you won't find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope have come to accept their situation and are confident to pass their days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that, like that merchant who passed through recently. Gregarious fellow, but awfully opinionated. Can't say I was sad to see him go. Those lonely Ul'dah nights. Yeah, I mean, it does... I don't know. It's like a kangaroo mother to her kid. That's just how my chocobo treats me. I didn't expect them to send you, Teha. I take it as this means someone has read my report. The refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return, and I'm increasingly concerned that Zazawaka's suspicions were correct. You haven't the foggiest what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind. Speak with Zazawaka. He will explain everything. What is he, a Wookiee from Star Wars? Oh, I'm meant to be going in here. Okay. Ah, don't hurt me. I'm not one of them. I beg your pardon? You're not a flame, I see. If Leofric bid you speak with me, then I take it you've agreed to help. 12 be praised for that, because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under the fanatic spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, of holding the ruling class to account, and taking that which is owed? Ha! A childish fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my words. Now that one of our idealists has returned, however, the madness of the merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent and you'll understand why. Even now he babbles incoherently. So traumatized is he by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words beyond the fact that he was not alone in surviving. Yet I've no doubt that merchant will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg of you, find them before he does. What are you doing? Don't draw. Don't draw. Don't draw. Don't draw. Don't draw. Why didn't you run away from me? We could have escaped together. Then you'd be here with me. Be here to soothe me. Why did you have to stay and leave me alone? Who are you? What do you want? Aye, it's true. I followed the merchant, and may the gods strike me down for my folly. What they will not give, you must take, he said. When we asked how, he revealed a cache of weapons he had brought and implored us to seize control of our fates. I thought about running then and there, but the others were so excited he split us into 2 groups, set us off on our own. But when the flames found us, we didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with theirs, but then they started arguing, and then fighting. And everyone was fighting, and the flames were shouting to give no quarter, and... oh gods, the other group. They're still out there. If we don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was. What the hell is going on? The other refugees are hiding in the caves south of Lost Hope, but to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of the Sultanate and try to kill us than listen to reason. Why, the twins might even deign to do the deed themselves. A pox and all the bloody sellswords. They were supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent with us vanished during the struggle. Oh, if only we had never listened to that merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our cause was righteous, that the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. Though if they were forced to confront reality, that's it. That's it. Challenge the twins to combat and show my brethren that their strongest warriors are no match for the one man. Mayhap then they will agree to lay down their arms and renounce this plot. Okay. The claw. It's so adorable how they carry it. The different, especially people that pass by that are also on claws. I don't use this enough, but I got this off of a tribal. It's so ridiculous, but I love it. Like just sitting there like a badass while bombs are flying me around. I think I'm meant to be going up here. Or no? Down here? No, I was down here. Yeah, I think I'm meant to be going in there. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Like, I was shocked that, first off, maxing out my, what was the tribal that was... I think it was the kobolds one. Maxing that out got me access to that, but it was like 120k gil, so it was pretty expensive. How am I getting lost in somewhere I've been? Seven hells, they found us. Everyone grab your gear and make for the rendezvous point. So that's your game, isn't it? Ah ha ha ha. Sorry to disappoint you, lad, but we're more than willing to kill ye ourselves. Dude, do you even know who I am? I've killed gods. Alright, it's 5 a.m. I should head for bed. Night night, Teja. Night, Leona. Sleep well. See you tomorrow, hopefully, on the Mandy stream. Definitely. You beat him like it was nothing. Thal almighty, what are we gonna do now? I mean, you could just not be a jerk. You've returned. Did you find my brethren? What of the twins? What happened? I see. Well, you had no choice. Better that a handful of them take a beating from you than the lot get butchered by the flames. I mean, I guess. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? Huh? But where else would he be? Unless he went to Stone's Throw to recruit others. Yeah, maybe. The merchant wished to approach the refugees in Stone's Throw, but was waiting until the flames withdrew their forces from the vicinity. Not that they have, there's nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in pursuit of this futile cause? How much more suffering must we endure before it ends? Find him, convince him to cease his mad quest. It will surely lead us to ruin. Alright. Got so many cool mounts. I would say the majority of them from getting like the collector's edition. What was it? It was like a complete edition of Shadowbringers that was on sale at some point. So I upgraded to like the digital deluxe versions, and I got all those mounts and a few minions, and I think they give you what's it called, a Fantasia, where you can change the look of view permanently. It's really neat. It's a lot of extra stuff, but it's cool. Have you seen my parents? Yeah, I mean, the Chocobo is just fine for the time being. They told me to stay here with the others. They said they'd be back soon, but it's been days. They left with the man from Ul'dah. The man they said they were gonna change everything. Make it so we could live inside the walls with everyone else. I liked it when he said that. I didn't like it when he talked about making the rich people pay. Everyone looked so angry and I got scared. Say, mister, are you looking for someone? You mean the man who left with my parents? But I don't know where he... Wait, look, over there. I think that's him. Well now, which of these gullible fools shall be my next victim? I hear Final Fantasy XV's car coming back to the Gold Saucer in September. I think I want that, or a motorcycle. I've seen a few people ride that. It's really extravagant, I'll say that. But yeah, it looks cool. I mean, it's probably gonna, if it's in the Gold Saucer, it's probably gonna be like, I don't know, like 500,000, a million MGP to pay for that. Which of these gullible fools shall be my next victim? You, I... After him. He's getting away. Go get him, mister. I just turned into a cop. Stop, police! Put your hands up! Chocobos with police sirens. Man, he ran pretty fast. I have like 400k right now, I think. I get pretty distracted in the goal. Same, actually. Especially with the Chocobo racing, I've been doing a ton of that recently. I think I have like 200k right now, but I'm comfortable with that. I saved up, ever since I started the game back in November, I saved up $1 million to get the cloud card, which it's ridiculous, but I wanted that. So I saved up enough, got that, and now I'm just trying to rebuild my savings. You again. Why are you pursuing me? Sedition, treason, revolution. That's preposterous. Who has filled your head with these lies? Refugees? The self-same refugees who terrorized the streets of Ul'dah? Ha. You have no evidence to prove your accusations. None. I have horns, dude. I could headbutt you right now. Oh yeah, I bought a couple of expensive cards too. Yeah. I see it like there's like a few more things that are like 1 million and 2 million. I forget where you buy them in the Gold Saucer, but I think they're just mounts. I like Chocobo racing. I'm around Prestige 6 right now. I don't know what I am. I just know I have a Chocobo that... I'm on my 4th Chocobo, Pedigree 4, and I'm kind of back and forth between doing challenge races and just the regular ones. Oh, you're on 6 Pedigree. Okay, so you're pretty good at it then. It's a lot of fun. It's simple, but it's addictive. No, I will not accompany you to the Hall of Flames. You have no right to detain me. For the sake of the argument, let us say I did do the things you claim. Surely you don't think I give a Kikirn's arse about politics. It was business. Only business. What are you, in the mob? No, don't say anything. You're gonna get sniped. Someone's gonna snipe you. It happens in all the movies. Oh, how did I guess? We both know I'm not the one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I shall tell you everything. Well... I should say that was really predictable, but I guess I've watched too many things. What's all this commotion? 7 hells. Tell the others to spread out and search the area. The killer may still be close. Called it. Hold, adventurer. I would know more about your relationship with the victim, as well as the events leading up to his death. This man was responsible for the recent riots. Mayhap we owe his murder a debt of gratitude. In any case, it is obvious you are not the one whom we seek. You may carry on with your investigation, Scion. That arrow was shot from where you indicated. The archer must have a good eye and a better arm. I wish I could find something here as a clue, but yeah, he was like on this small cliff, shot right over. What news, Teha? Where's the merchant? Murdered. Damn it all to the seventh hell. He was not simply murdered, Teha. He was silenced. Too many knew of his face, and he was ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though. You may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator of these riots than you realize. You sure about that? No. How does this look? I'm good. The Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the Fragrant Chamber as soon as you returned. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries as well as the results of our own investigation. Master Alphanod has already been informed and should be waiting for you outside. Pray proceed to the Royal Promenade with all haste and speak to Bartholomew. As you wish. We've been expecting you, sir. Please proceed inside. Okay.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room. The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji. But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Yeah, it's exactly the same guy I thought. At first I thought I was mistaken, but yeah.
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill?
Same guy.
It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield. The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Alagon ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations. In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless, bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Alagon ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
Sounds like even worse than the guy who denied the Domans.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega.
Omega?
Pardon?
Sorry. Just want to check something real quick.
An Oligon monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated. Oligon inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cotonou Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon. One which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Never trust a person who has rhyming names. Teleji, Adeleji, Maria Butina, Amelia Bedilla. They're all bad apples.
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
You know, in Super Mario Brothers, Mario's full name is Mario, so I guess I shouldn't trust him.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged.
Obviously.
However, if someone were to restore it, as the Garleans did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Uldar.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
I should be glad to know the truth, and yet the thought that all this chaos was the product of one man's lust for power sickens me. How long do you think they intend to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in disputed territories. Unfortunately, you are already well positioned to do so, Lieutenant Strife. Pray keep us informed of any developments in Cartonel. Okay. Begone, whelp! This is no place for children. I'm sorry. I was looking for you, mister. You said you were looking for the man who left with my parents. You know this girl? So he visited Stone's Throw as well. I see. It looks like Alphinaud is floating a little bit. Did you find the man? Where are my parents with him? They were not, I'm afraid. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go and look for them together. Really? You'll help me look, mister? Of course. But first I must needs finish speaking with my friend. He's telling me a secret, you see, so no one else is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait for me by that pillar over there. We require but a moment. Okay, mister, I'll be waiting. I'll take her to the quicksand. Mayhap Momodi will know what to do. A legion of Garleans, an Aether-starved primal. Even dealing with an Ascian would be preferable to this charade. Sometimes I fear Minfilia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources and ourselves. Mayhap the time has come for a change. Teha, this is Minfilia. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Revenant's Toll with all due haste. The situation in 12's Wood has taken a turn for the worse. I will explain in detail once you arrive. Twelve's Wood? Then the primal threat she spoke of before has been confirmed. I have received no reports of Exali activity, which leaves the Sylphs? Go, Teha. You know as well as I that the appearance of a primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you arrive, do inform the antecedent that while I'm grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself. Sometimes getting feet to be flush with the floor can be legitimately hard when doing 3D graphics. Yeah, I guess fair enough, especially if the, because I don't have settings all the way up to max right now. So maybe there was meant to be more depth at that angle, but... Well... Sometimes I like just reading the context of things with certain people. Yeah, I remember that kid. Poor Papalamo. He's making a fuss over nothing as usual. His sense of balance is amazing for a boy's age. I wonder how he got so good. Oh, he's drunk, is he? Some 15 years ago, a mission took me to Ul'dah. 'Twas then that I first chanced to gaze upon your beauty. I was utterly transfixed. Dare not blink, lest I deprive myself of even a split second of your radiance. The hell? Guy's wasted. Antecedent has been apprised of the situation. Yeah, apparently. It is a relief to see you in healthy and hale, Teha. The latest news from Ul'dah was most disturbing. Clearly, the only injury Alphinaud suffered was his ego. Doubtless it will heal ere long. The other Scions will need to be present for this meeting. If you are ready to begin, I will summon them now. Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you here were it not urgent. To business, then. I have received some most disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the Sylphs may have called forth their revered guardian, the Primal Ramuh. I'm sorry, may have? Then it is not certain. The Elder Seedseer informs us that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Levin's return to the forest. Sylphlands, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Forgive me, Antecedent, but that fact need not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, Garuda and so on, Ramuh is disreputed to act only in the defense of his children. Sometimes I say Ramuh, sometimes I say Rama. In childhood, you know, in past Final Fantasy games, I've said Rama. I imagine he would soon make his presence known if any were foolish enough to directly endanger the Sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. Were we not keeping a close watch on the touched ones and their movements? The preparations for a summoning ritual were indeed underway. 'Twould surely not have escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon? You foresaw this eventuality and did naught to prevent it? I told Papalamo, I suppose I could have reported things to Minfilia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around their territory. They already summoned Ramuh once right after the calamity, but that was because the Garleans came tramping through the forest. And so long as Castrum Orien stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity on hand. In short, Yide and I are in agreement. The actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. Oh, I say Rumwa? Like, just 100% off. Makes no sense. Like, not even trying to pronounce it right. Fair enough. Like people say nowadays, people say Bahamu. Or Bahamu. Or Bahama? Or Bahamu. I've always said Bahamut. With a hard T. But, I mean, it's whatever. And I maintain that observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers into the Black Shroud. That, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Ul'dah drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. 'Tis like that the Sylphs perceive this panic migration as yet another invasion, and quicken their efforts to summon their god. I am put to mind of Titan and the Kobolds. Once again, it is the affairs of men which have paved the way for a Primal's coming. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place Urza would be without the civilizing influence of mankind. Be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. Teha, through your dealings with the Sylphs of Little Solace, you once succeeded in preventing an untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? If Ramuh can be convinced of our intentions. It may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. A fond hope. Were such a thing possible, we would not have been at war with the Beastmen since time immemorial. But maybe this time we can... Let us continue this discussion anon. We must needs first consult with the nation most affected by Rama's presence. The Elder Seed Seer has requested your personal involvement, Teja. Pray report to Commander Julio at the Adder's Nest as soon as you're able. Steel yourself for the worst. While I hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Levin will prove less than amicable. In such an event, your fellow Scions will of course lend you whatever support you require. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. It's a weird one. Guess they're pretty much all cherry-picked names for different cultures. I should make an effort to learn how to say them right. Sometimes I think that. And then sometimes I just am like too lazy to. But yeah, I suppose I should. Teja of the Scions, your arrival has been most appreciated. The appearance of a primal is ever cause for alarm and unease. Though my men stand ready for any eventuality, I know of none more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed, I would have you do so without delay. The Elder Seedseer, however, would speak to you first. She is of the opinion that your diplomatic rather than martial skills may better serve our cause. I will leave further explanation to our learned leader. Pray make your way to Nofika's altar. The conjurer in attendance will admit you to the Lotus Stand. It's just so rare that I actually say their names out loud. I don't think about it. Yeah. I guess if you're like verbally dictating, it crosses your mind more often. Wait, I'm going the wrong way. No, let me take the teleporter. The other Scions have already arrived, sir. May I show you in? Let's do it. Whatever the Elder Seedseer is planning, I want you to know that I'll be right there by your side. And I'm sure Y'shtola won't be far behind, even if she does think everything is mankind's fault. I see the Sylphs have sent their own representative. There can be no doubt then. It is said that once Rama passes judgment, his wrath is implacable. 'Twould be best to conclude this discussion ere Gridania and its people are placed upon his scales. Oh, hello, Walking One. It is good to see a friend of Elder One. Most curious to hear how the Elder Seedseer means to treat with Lord Rama.
Scions of the 7th Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramuh is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the sylphs too have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other primals you have encountered, Lord Ramuh is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelves Wood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations. The Twelves Wood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramuh himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples. You have my thanks.
They're adorable, just dancing around in midair.
Solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin. An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelves Wood that flinches at its coming. All the lands of Eorzea shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
Okay. Whoa. Let's see. Sylphs are definitely one of the better ideas in this game. I don't see them enough, but yeah, I guess that's changing in the short term right now. I do like the idea of them, like they're like wood creatures that I don't know how else to describe them, like how if there was paranormal activity and if that was real, but it was like wood based, I guess it would look kind of like that. Or maybe just small aliens floating around. Day of the Scions, I was told to expect you. I understand you go to treat with the primal Rama as himself. An unenviable task, but one for which I have no doubt you are well suited. I've been told that our fellow Scions are conducting an investigation of the area as we speak, that we might ascertain the location of where the Lord of Levin might be found. I would ask that you abide here until they return with their findings. Alright. Alright, before I continue, is there like someone I can give this to? Okay. Free 8k guild. Serpent Lieutenant looks about, seemingly awaiting a visitor. I was told that a messenger would be sent as soon as your fellow Scions finish their investigation. I do not imagine it would be much longer. This one returns, and returns with good tidings. Wise ones have finished searching and have wisely identified the precise location where the touched ones summoned Lord Rama. Yeah, they're cute. The way they speak is fun, and their presence is just kind of humanizes all the other beast tribes. Yeah, true. Your timing is impeccable, my fluttery friend. Might you be so kind as to escort this good man to his fellow scions? It will be this one's pleasure, Walking One. Please, please come with this one. Wise ones have ventured deep within the Sylphlands. These ones must proceed carefully and keep an eye out for touch ones. I like how both players track them with their heads. This one's most sorry, but this one can go no further. Draw too close to Lord Rama, and this one may turn mean and nasty like touch ones. And so this one must say farewell for now. Walking One will find wise ones not far from here, to the south. Go in safety, Walking One. Later. Yeah, I can... Let me check something right quick. It's probably gonna be here, right? Yeah. Well, either here or up there somewhere. Ah, there you are. It is you, isn't it? What? Of course it is. Don't ask. Suffice it to say that we had something of a situation here. So, Thancred is Thancred, Papalamo is Papalamo, Y'shtola is Y'shtola, and you are you, right? Well, that's easy enough to remember. This one's name is Yida, in case Walking One was wondering. Joke, I'm joking. Okay. So it's actually you. I'm relieved. For a moment I thought we were dealing with another one of those confounded Sylph's tricksters. I swear, with them wrecking havoc with their skin-changing magics, it's a wonder I was able to finish taking my measurements. Yes, it was quite the ordeal. You should have seen the look on Y'shtola's face when the one impersonating you suddenly showed up. That's quite enough, Papalamo. My apologies. It's not like me to ramble, so... At any rate, as I was saying, I have finished measuring etheric activity in the area, and I'm pleased to say I have reached an indisputable conclusion. To wit, that Rama was called forth in the vicinity of the Sylph's Aetheryte. Come, Teha, the Lord of Levin awaits. I feel like you're in the right area. I don't remember for sure, but I remember this didn't take me a long time. I feel like I should already know this place pretty well since I've been doing some like hunts, some elite hunts, and also some fates as well. Oh, that makes perfect sense. The crystal's right there. Never mind. Evil ones.
Tynora betrays thee, servant of hiding. Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan. I am Ramu, guardian of the children of the forest.
I guess it's Ramu then.
Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs? The Gridanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult. Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest naught for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man.
He seems angry. I'm gonna get his name right next time. It'll be it's not difficult really. It's not that big of a deal. But for me, I'm probably gonna continue going back and forth on it. I don't know.
Thus did they turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just.
Yeah, you gotta protect the sucker.
Gridanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other.
Holy hell, look at his beard. I didn't realize that shot really encapsulates how long it's been since this guy shaved. Good lord, it's a sack of hair.
Thy conflicts have brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man.
That would drive me insane. I can't handle a small beard on myself in real life without like my skin irritating, so it's like that is a nightmare.
Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed. Were light and dark given form when man was born?
Yeah, I'm the same way.
It would explain much. Not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. Knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking? Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges.
they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye. But there is something more in thee.
BRB making some tea. Cool.
Very well. I shall consider thy proposal. Shouldst thou survive my trial.
Yeah, I know. I gotta fight you.
If thou wouldst champion the cause of harmony, I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee. Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment. Come to me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Urianger, it is rare indeed to find you so far from a tome.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady. I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord Ramuh, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
All right. Oh, that's an enemy. Let me see something right quick, because I kind of sort of prepared for this eventuality. Okay, so just looking over my notes. Let me get queued up. Here we go. I'm frozen, can't do anything. We're doing well though, so we'll get this. Back when I played WoW, it was all about being ultra prepared and accountable, so I get anxious about going into something like this without knowing exactly what to do. My experience with instances in WoW were not fun, really. Like, they were fun initially when I was in a group of people that... They felt like friends, they felt like family, so we were having fun, but that group kind of just... They petered out, and, you know, we were doing our own thing after a while, so... Reality is, most players wander through MSQ like Charlie Chaplin on a construction site. Yeah, I should feel more trusting of this community. I'm just so used to it being so intense and hardcore with the other community that it's kind of like whatever. Oh boy, that was easy.
I have taken thy measure, bringer of light.
Yeah.
And I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather, and meekness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
Thou hast slain the Lord of Levin. A regrettable act, but a necessary one. In witnessing thy struggle, a truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Assyrians. But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
Yeah, apparently that group liked my performance a lot. They gave me like 2 commendations. Well, I was a lot more sociable and cerebral. But it was very different before the go, 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 pull faster paradigm that emerged. I think my experience, like 2011, 2010 with instant stuff was the best time I've had in WoW. And then, you know, had a burnout through Mist of Pandaria. Had a sort of addiction to Diablo 3 for a time. And, you know, on and off throughout the expansions, I would get into... I think it's Raid Finder or Dungeon Finder or whatever. And I would just do randoms with people. And it, you know, sometimes it would be fun, sometimes it would just be... Well, I say fun from like a mechanics thing. It would be really antisocial. So almost no one would talk. And we would just get through the content. So... After Legion, I think I just stopped caring about instant stuff. And then Battle for Azeroth, I streamed a bit of that a long while ago, but Battle for Azeroth was the most fun when I was doing random PvP, like environment PvP type stuff in and the name escapes me. It's the one area that you go meet the underwater people, the fish people or whatever. And in that, in the roads leading up to your respective area, whether you're Alliance or Horde, it was a lot of running around back and forth trying to slay Horde or Alliance and stuff. It was a lot of fun. But that was really the last fun thing I did before Shadowlands, and that was, you know, kind of fun with a new thing for a while, and then I just stopped. It was getting a bit too mundane for me. Became very antisocial with Dungeon Finder. Yep. Say how you returned. Dare I ask how Aramu received your visit? He challenged you to a test of arms? It is well then that you have come to experience in such matters. The peoples of both Gridania and Little Solus will be relieved to hear that the Lord of Levin has accepted you as the forest champion of peace. You have performed a monumental duty this day, Teha. The Elder Seedseer must be informed with your deeds at once. The Elder Seedseer will wish to hear of your experience firsthand. Pray return to Gridania and make directly for the Lotus Stand. The Conjurer at Nofika's altar will be expecting you. Farewell. I was most serious about raiding in BC, drifted in and out till about Kata. I was never really that serious about it again. Wow. So pretty much, I don't know, I guess as a group of familiar people I would be around in that game, it stopped right around Kata as well, but I was still at least a little bit excited for content around, I forget what was after Kata. Was it Miss of Pandaria, or was it Warlords of Draenor? It was around the beginning of Miss of Pandaria, I think, that I started to just not care overall. But yeah, I started at around the tail end of Burning Crusade around 2007. I think it was Pandaria. Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. But it's fun to think back to those times, because in 2007 I had a Windows XP computer with no graphics card trying to run World of Warcraft. If you can imagine that. Not exactly the best first time experience running an MMO at at or less than 5 frames per second, but it is what it is. I mean, with respect to, you know, WoW and MMOs in general and that kind of stuff, PC gaming, that really forced me to consider, you know, how, you know, the certain components of a PC work and how I can keep them maintained and have them last a while, and all that stuff that really just is just useful for me and in how I do things now, streaming and trying to be diligent with knowing what the best thing there is for me to get or upgrade. Because I think the first graphics card we had was like a, I don't remember the name of it. It was like an NVIDIA graphics card that we got off of like a cheap, it was used. I think my father got it off a friend of his. So it wasn't even new, or it wasn't even off a retailer, but it worked for a little while. And then the whole computer died in I think 2011, 2012. It lasted a long time. It was we had that computer since like 2001, I think. Welcome back, honored scion. We who knew of your mission have been most anxious to see you return. The Elder Seed Seer awaits you within. Yeah, it was a G-Force, I think. It was it's definitely a small one, and it didn't have any fans in it either. So that's how old that was. No fans.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this. I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramuh ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell? Ramuh made trial of you? I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without.
Still have some Radeon 5Ks with heat sinks in the drawer. I still remember the heatsink too. It was like a tiny little thing just attached to the graphics card.
It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one. Yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth. Lord Ramuh has departed, Yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
Make sure you buy an old TV or soon in order to run a CRT TV. Like, retro gaming has been picking up a little bit in our family, so I'm like, the last CRT we had was like over a decade ago, so yeah, I don't know, because we have this device in the house. I haven't used it yet, but there's like a device where there's like loads of games in it, old games. It's like a third-party thing, but yeah. Speedrunning FF7, I'm terrible, but it would be nice to be able to practice on emulator on the same TV I'd use for actual runs without latency. I've seen a few runs of, not entire runs, because they take hours and hours, but it seems like that is a very intense game to speedrun, at least initially. Depending on like whether you're doing an any % run or 100% run, or I don't know. Like I don't know what other categories in speedrunning that game there are, but FF7 is like one of my favorite games. So that's awesome that you're doing that. It's an immense amount of memorization. I've seen some speedrunners like have, I guess if they have 2 or more screens, they like have an entire document on the side to refer to, and sometimes that helps. But yeah, I'd expect you'd have to remember quite a bit, hey? So it seemed that Yida's appraisal of the situation held some merit after all. Mayhap I should not be so swift to discount her intuition. Well, I don't know. I fancy my presence was more help than hindrance during our troubles with Leviathan. But this time around, well, even I have my off days. Dude, you were drunk as hell hitting on Milfina's mother. You were not in the right state of mind to even be here. Thus ends another daunting mission, eh, Teha? I'd hoped Lord Rama would be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless, I can only admire the adroitness with which you responded to the Primal's sudden challenge. And it seems that your Ranger, too, was pleased with the outcome. What say you, Teha? Shall we gather back at the Rising Stones and ponder the lessons of the day? Yeah, let's do that. Let's ponder stuff. Why not? Hey, Mr. Teha, what's a Ramu? Is it cute and fluffy like a horse bird? Hell no. Well, I take that back. A part of him is very fluffy. I tried substituting native ingredients several times, but the result was but a pale imitation of authentic Doman cuisine. Huh. Horrible. I feel like a cat is fluffy. That beard is gnarly. Yeah, I guess it depends on how coarse that hair is, yeah. Take care, Teha. I look forward to hearing all about your adventures when you return. Duty calls. Well, no matter the task, I have faith you will see it through to the end. Let me actually check something right quick. Okay. Welcome back, Teha. Word of your momentous encounter with Lord Rama precedes you. I would fain share news of mine own, but Urianger's discoveries must take precedence. Upon witnessing your defeat of the Lord of Levin, a learned companion was struck with a profound insight regarding the nature of the Ascian's immortality. Let us assemble and discuss his observations together. Let's.
If everyone is ready, let us begin. Urianger, the floor is yours.
What? Urianger? The letters aren't even there for you to say that. Okay, so Urianger, I guess. I've been calling him Urianger initially. That didn't sound right. Urianger like an orange. Urianger.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the Waking Sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'ashtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'ashtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Levin's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior.
Yeah, I've been thinking like Uringer.
Let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls.
The educational part of the game.
Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin Elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth the distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection...
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
Lord of Levin is returned to the Aether, as was Leviathan before him. Ramuh's acquiescence is most intriguing. Inferno, Vortex, Crag, Whorl, and Levin all have now been humbled by the Bringer of Light. The limitless potential of man, Hydaelyn's servant grows mightier by the day. Yet he prospers at great cost to his mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining, but their souls are grown weak and wan. Yet even as it enervates, the ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted to forge the final key. And that is the task to which we bend our every effort. Divine seeds were ever wont to quicken in Eorzea's fertile soil. We need only lead men to the field, and by their eager hands shall a new deity arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. Well then. Okay. Now the matter of Ramuh has for the present been put to rest. There is something I will show you, Teha. It is a letter of thanks signed by the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance, acknowledging the Scion's tireless service to the realm. It mentions in particular the names of all the defeated primals: Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King Mogulmog the 12th, Leviathan, and now Ramuh. Needless to say, there's only one among our number who've to have faced them all. And though these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel they were meant for you above all others. I too must offer my heartfelt thanks for you all that you've done. In the course of your duties, you have never once failed to answer my call to arms. It's about time for me to turn in. Have fun. Good night, Hedgehog. Sweet dreams. Have a good night. You are a true hero, Teha, and Eorzea is that much the safer for your presence. Pray do not misunderstand me. I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Ascians may be relied upon to sow chaos in this realm until such time as they're forced to stop. Why, even without their encouragement, you may be assured that man would foment strife on his own. And that is to say nothing of the beast tribes. Unless we learn to live in harmony, the primals too will return to plague us again and again and again. And yet, despite all this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow. And there is no greater gift. That we have the courage to strive for what might otherwise seem an impossible peace, we owe in no small part to the dangers you have faced on our behalf, and the people you have won over to our cause in so doing. Our list of enemies has ever been long, but think of the allies with whom we are now blessed. Of the beastmen who wish naught of conflict, and who now call you friend. Of the Alamegans and the Domans who stand with us, determined to halt the dread march of the Empire. And then there's Sid and the Fellowship of Noah, racing to unlock the mysteries of ancient Alag, that we might be spared the horror of another ultimate weapon. Of course, when speaking to our greatest allies, we must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Asians, and combat it we shall. Your enthusiasm is truly heartwarming, Antecedent. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. Alphenard, I take it the troubles in Ul'dah no longer require your attention? There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis to report such that I stand before you now. That, and to speak with you concerning a new organization we discussed. Ah, I have a message from you, from You recall the refugee girl? The one whose parents were missing. They were found unharmed. She wished me to pass on her thanks to you. Why, Alphenard, am I to understand that you made the effort to remember the poor girl's name? I look forward to reading all about her in your report. I do hope you left nothing out. Teha, you have been away from Revenant's Toll for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest you put the affairs of the realm to one side for a moment and take this opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town? Which reminds me, one of the Doman children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Yozan was his name. I believe he has some small matter he wishes to share with you. Why not oblige him with a visit? Nodders. This almost feels like I finished 2.3 and now I'm assuming 2.4. After we parted in Ul'dah, I paid a visit to refugees from the okay. Fake Thancred. Oh boy, there he goes again. Look, it's Mr. Teja. He's back from his adventures. We heard you were off fighting primals, and that there's some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. Anyway, we all want to be heroes too, so we finally formed our very own Doman Adventures Guild to protect all the Domans. Oh, do you think you could train us today, Mr. Teja? Maybe you could show us how you fought the primals. What's all this commotion then? Mr. Boulder and Mr. Coltonet, did you know that Mr. Teja is back? So it would seem. Welcome home, Teja. My companion and I but recently became full members of the Scions, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Hoary Boulder, and this bookish fellow is Coltonet. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we have taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in the arts of combat. Ugh, I told you, Mr. Builder, we're not younglings anymore, we're adventurers. We're just asking Mr. Teja if he could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside him, don't you? Well, you've certainly been diligent with your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mordona are still ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a counter proposal. What if I were to cross swords with Teja? A demonstration of a skill at arms, if you will. Hori, if I didn't know you better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against the legend. Haha, well mayhaps I am. But what matters the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson? What say you, Teja? Could you consent to spar with me? Hurrah! We'll have a tournament. Come on, everyone. We must prepare for our gear for an outing. Do try not to disappoint them, Have faith, Coltonet. I shall summon every last ounce of my strength to make of this a worthy contest. The fields to the east of town should prove suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bout. He's like, where'd everybody go? It was good of you to agree to this, Teha. I trust you're ready to begin? Of course. Born ready. Very well. Let's not keep the younglings waiting any longer. Ahem. Hori. Are you certain you wish to fight him alone? That is Teha you face. What better way to test my mettle? Pray allow me to attempt the first round unaided. After all, 'twas this hero's legend that led me to join the Scions to begin with. Without Teha to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Your point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blade work. Hello, you haven't begun yet, have you? Yida, what? Who are all these people? Oh, he's gonna get embarrassed now. When I heard about your sparring match, I told everyone I could find. Thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on. Yes, and there's still more to come. When I mentioned Teha's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Why, my own popularity seems but a sickly shade in comparison. You'd best claim victory, Bringer of Light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win, Mr. Boulder. His nose constantly hits the collar of that chest armor. That must hurt. We shall soon see. On your guard. I'm probably gonna kill this man. Tails barely do justice. He won't lose, will he? It's not over yet. It can't be. Aye, the children have the right of it. 'Tis time I joined the fray. On your feet, Hori. Oh no, he looks hurt. Twas an honor and a privilege. I just killed him. Well, they're dead now. Rip. Could you imagine? You bested me. I yield. That was incredible. He beat both of them at the same time. We knew you couldn't lose, Teha. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Now I see why they send you to deal with the primals. I have much work to do if I am ever to attempt the same. Impressive as always, Teha. 'Tis ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. And judging by the smiles on these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea. Yes, that's a most fitting title. Do you recall when we first met? 'Twas at the memorial service of the Battle of Cartanel. At the time, I was yet attempting to understand this land of Eorzea. I sought to grasp the reason why grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abound, and yet the effort I saw expended towards their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to wear allegiance to Gaius and the order he proposed to enforce. The Legatus' single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. Were it not for a desire to continue grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. "'Twas you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. 'Twas you who taught me through countless acts of bravery that what my grandsire sought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people, these wonderful, often infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow, only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though he never put such feelings into words, I believe grandfather's admiration for this inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish, a wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own. I too will endeavor to take up the mantle of Guardian of Eorzea, and champion these people who toil towards a better world. Our cause, however, is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be solved by the scions of the Seventh Dawn alone. No, what is needed to tackle the root of the primal threat and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascians is a new, expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you would aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. No, this won't do at all. Then I'll have to... Oh, hello, Teha. If you don't mind, I'm terribly busy at the moment. Fair enough. I could use some tea right about now. I got a fan base. Thank you for coming, Teha. The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. What I propose is the formation of a new organization, a group that shall pave the way for a truly united Eorzea. Pray forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the 7th Astral Era, the leaders of the three nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the disparate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land and directed against threats that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yet while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of this formation have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus towards unification draining away. Thus have I been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. But it will be on a much smaller scale than what we hope to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operation accorded to the Scions. 'Tis my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. Also, being a primarily military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedent. Scions work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But you, as yourself, have witnessed with the refugee revolt, there are limitations to what even we can achieve. With this new company under the Scion's command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. The goals of my proposed organization and those of the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I can move forward with establishing this precursor to the true border-spanning Grand Company, 'tis yet necessary that I visit the three leaders and gain their official approval. A tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask that you accompany me on the journey, and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members while I'm otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities. Thank you. 'Tis reassuring indeed to know that the Bringer of Light and his discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. Our first destination will be Limsa Luminsa. Let us rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. I remember starting the game when I felt like I could never pronounce Limsa Luminsa. I was like Lima Lamina? And then there's Asmongold that pronounces Lisa Lomasa or some such. Ah, there you are. I'm ready to ascend the bridge and speak with Admiral Blofhiswin. While the Admiral and I are finalizing promissory boundaries and signing parchments, I would have you begin the recruitment process in earnest. I have, of course, endeavored to spread the word of our organization through various channels, but I believe a personal approach will reach many who may otherwise remain ignorant of the opportunity. As for potential members, 'tis of no matter should they already be pledged to another institution, only that they are willing to lend their strength when the situation demands it. And you needn't range into the countryside. The upper decks alone are populated with sufficient candidates to suit our purpose. Once you're satisfied with the recruiting efforts, Meet me at the airship ticket counter and we might prepare for the next leg of our journey. Okay, see ya. Oh, there's multiple places we need to be. An organization with the freedom to operate with territorial impunity? I must say your proposal intrigues me, but the Krakens well know that there's a time to act and a time to watch, and I'm afraid this trial company of yours falls into the latter category. Fair enough. As to Alphanaud's new organization, yes, I've heard the formation of this trial company was in the offing. 'Tis with regret, however, that I must decline your invitation. As commander of the Yellow Jackets, the protection of Limsa Lominsa must needs receive my full attention. Well, you could be a marauder here. Marauders are tanks, so I've already done this on my alt, but I've been duo training a gladiator, eventually a paladin, and on the side I've been doing lancer for a DPS. Because more people in one of the communities I'm in are getting into the game, and eventually we want to start doing stuff together. I don't know when that'll be, but I would like to at least dip my toes in one DPS and one... I don't know. I've gone out of my way to avoid healing classes in all RPGs, like offline, online MMOs. I'd have to see what the consensus is on what's the easiest healing class in this game, and just follow that to start with, because in my head I'm not too fond of the idea of healing, but apparently you can attack while you heal in this game, so might be fun. I didn't even read that. Who in the bloody elves do you think you're talking to, Drylander? I'm a pirate, not some sodden knight in shining art in plate. If you're looking for a self-righteous fop, try knocking on that dandy Carvallian's door. I don't remember who that is, but okay. I guess that's a no. Precursor to United Yorzin Grand Company? While I do admire the scope of your ambition, my responsibilities here at Naldik and Vimelis keep me close to the forge. I've not the time to be tripsing hither and yon across the realm. Should you require my skills as an armor, however, I might be willing to accept some special commissions. No one wants in on this, apparently. Am I supposed to know who this is? Well, if it ain't Teha, I guess I am supposed to know who it is. I'd not forget an adventurer brave enough or daft enough to seek the shortcut into Titan's bedchamber. What? Ye remember old Riol, don't ye? Formerly of the Company of Heroes? 3 whistles at Bronze Lake? Aye, it ain't often I drag me ours out to Limsa for a drink, but I'm right glad I did. How fare ye these days? You're looking to put together a new crew. Top tier work. Ha, sounds like a right lark it does. Alrighty lad, count me in. The heroes may gone their separate ways, but I ain't ready to climb to me grave just yet. So that's... out of 5, we've found 1. Yeah, that's for dancer. Teha, your recruiting went well, I trust. I'm curious as to how my proposal was received by the rough and ready folk of Limsa Luminsa. Ah, a member of the legendary Company of Heroes indicated his interest. Astonishing. I knew enlisting your aid was the right choice. Few could boast the acquaintance of such an elusive character. I too was successful in my task. Admiral consented to sign all documents requiring her approval. I can only hope that my visit with the Elder Seedseer proceeds as smoothly. Pray continue on to Cordania at your own pace. I shall await your arrival at Nofka's altar. Okay, I do not need to take a plane. There's a lot of people here. Wait, I remember this song. What's this song from? Oh, that's Wu-Tai, right? Final Fantasy VII. I remember that. I remember that. I'm trying to like figure out like what's the occasion here, because I know that well, first of all, I know that Rich Rich Campbell is on this server. So after seeing a lot of highlights from him, I kind of expect there to be some nonsense. I don't know if he's streaming right now, but and the other thing is that today is day 1 of LunarCon, so Shenpai's doing that thing. Where am I meant to be going? What's this about? What? Okay. I'm not gonna distract myself that much. It could, I mean, that could reveal or unlock something awesome, but I'm just gonna stay with what I need to be doing. My audience with the Elder Seeds here is due to commence momentarily. I would be grateful if you would once more see to the task of recruitment here in Gridania. After you deem the well of potential candidates as run dry, let us rendezvous at the airship ticket counter as before. Right. Oh gods, can it truly be you? By what fickle fortune must the first face I see upon my release be yours? Eh? Could it be that you don't remember me? It is I, Laurentius, the man whose crimes you exposed? I honestly don't. I was a whaler and a regular patron at Buscaron's. I'm gonna be honest with it. I'm gonna be... Will you say nothing? Does my presence disgust you so? Or do you simply not care to remember our encounter at all? Humph. The less said of my past, the better, I suppose. And what of you, adventurer? What business brings you to this part of Gridania? Recruiting, hey? And what is your policy on reformed convicts? As matters stand, wood whalers would have not more to do with me. This may be just the second chance I was looking for. Revenants told you, say. I shall leave at once. You shall not regret this. I promise you. I am a changed man. Well, I hope so. As long as you stay out of trouble with whatever the hell you did. Because I don't remember. This is a good opportunity actually for me to check the achievement guy. Grandfather, you must call it a day. Let us return to the guild and rest ere you tormented back gives you up on you for good. I'm terribly sorry, we were just... Oh, Teha. Isn't it? It must have been some time since our paths crossed outside of Copperbell Mines. God, they're going way back. Why, you were barely more than a novice adventurer then. But look how far you've come. Mother Mione tells me 'twas you who felled the fearsome black wolf. Now you seek stout-hearted souls to fill the ranks of a new order? Well, your cause is undoubtedly just. My old companion here would be much relieved to see me in good hands. Yes, I'll do it. This is the very thing I've spent my entire adventuring career working towards. I shall join your company just as soon as I've seen Isildur safely home. If that's how it's pronounced, isn't Isildur the guy who got the ring in Lord of the Rings? initially, but didn't put it in the pit of fire and decided to keep it. Like, if that's a reference, you'll have to tie me to my bed. Okay, well, good luck with that. Got 4. Oh wow, there's quite a bit of barding from my chocobo here. Yeah, I'll have to like look another time, like on a wiki or something, on, because I know I have some mounts and stuff I've collected from this guy, but I don't want to just accidentally buy something and waste my achievement points. This guy I might remember, actually. You would offer this old man a place in your company of champions. I am both puzzled and honored by your invitation. Pray forgive me, young master, but I cannot accept. I have sworn to abide here for whatever scant years remain of me, and bear responsibility for the evils my lady has brought upon this land. Like, again, I'm very sorry about the crimes of your family, but I don't know. Tis not often a guild officer such as myself gets recruited, and this company of yours certainly sounds to have some promise, but its duties appear less than focused. I must refuse your invitation until such time as your organization is more organized. Fair enough. Plus, I'm pretty sure she has to do with the Lancers Guild that I've been training on the side, so like from a storytelling perspective, I could understand her not leaving that post for the sake of... Well, I guess my main is a perfect example where, since I haven't even started Lancer on this tune, having her go somewhere else wouldn't make sense if she has something to do with the Lancer questline later. Should I pick that up? Good news, Teha. For my part, the Elder Seeds here was most amenable to our requirements. A former wood whaler and a seasoned adventurer. The company will not lack for variety, that much is certain. An interesting harvest indeed. Shall we strike into Ul'dah whilst the iron is hot? Let us meet at the Royal Promenade and endeavor to conclude our remaining business. Our journey draws to a close. If you say so. Let's see if people are dancing out front. Yep. And they're actually dancing on the thing I gained recently, eh? Yeah, look at that. Where am I meant to be? The Chamber of Rule. I would love to know who the hell is gonna train me, because I've been, I mean, at level 59, from 50 to 59, I've been getting notifications that, hey, you can now proceed with your next big class quest line, and I'm like, from freaking who? And it's clear that it's not gonna be from anyone here, or I guess anyone from A Realm Reborn, or any character introduced during that time. I have to assume that it's in wherever Heaven's Sword takes place, so post any of this stuff, right? Gul'da, the Gilded City, where one's fortune defines one's worth. I hope some manner of fortune is with us, and that this final leg proves as successful as the previous two. It doesn't feel successful at all, man, honestly. Might I suggest descending to the lower level before beginning your recruitment efforts? I do not think the Sultana will take kindly to us poaching from the personal guard. Let us meet back here at the promenade when our respective tasks are complete. Good hunting, Teha. Let's do it. Wait, you're the man who came to Little Alamigo looking for that masked devil. Who knows what might have happened if you hadn't? I'd probably be dead, and a whole lot more of my friends besides. We were such fools. Any road, that disaster really got me into thinking about our homeland, and about the outsider who saved us from ourselves. I realized how easy I'd been manipulated, and vowed to make myself a more worldly man. So here I am. A new company of champions, and you say it will take me to all corners of the realm. Sounds exactly like the kind of opportunity I need. And don't worry, I'm not the same stripling you met at Little Alamigo. I prepared myself to fight the devil I now know is out there. Oh, what a happy coincidence. Do you remember me, perchance? I'm the Orsian of the Church of Saint Adama Landama. Thank you again for your timely rescue. Are you the girl that was being harassed? This was really early on, but it was someone that was harassed at the front gates of, or like in Ul'dah, but near the front gates. And she was being harassed by like 3 scumbags. And must also thank you for preventing that fraudulent priest from preying on Drybone's less fortunate. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe all this is Drybone town. A most upsetting business. Are you here with your companion, Thancred, wasn't it? Ah, 'tis new companions you seek then. Your proposed organization sounds a powerful force for good, but my place is at the church with the children. Nevertheless, I wish you well in this undertaking. What is this guild? A weaver. Now you I remember. I'm sorry? You wish to recruit me? Is this some new-fashioned manner of propositioning a lady? Well, I'm afraid you're wasting your time. This lady's already spoken for. Good day to you, sir. I mean, if you would listen, it's not about going out with you or anything. Have you come to tell me the news, soldier? Well, I've already heard it. Seems the would-be savior of Ul'dah's refugees went and got himself killed. And not by your hand. He was just as much of a pawn as the hapless cast-offs he sought to deceive, eh? That's not why you're here. Aye. You'd be surprised what rumors drift down to Pearl Lane. I know of this glorious new company of yours and just how far I'd go to avoid getting involved with it. Whispers on the street say your organization is funded by corrupt coin, by syndicate money. If you think you're recruiting for a just cause, then you're a bigger fool than I took you for. I don't think so. I mean, I wonder if there's truth to that, but as far as I know, I don't think so. Company that looks to cure the ills of the realm entire. Listen, friend. I can scarce spare the complaints of the next stall over, let alone the conundrums of the neighboring nation. That was quick. It's like, fuck off. Okay. That was disappointing to say the least. How fared you, Teha? What hidden gems did the streets of Ul'dah offer up to your unrelenting gaze? To be fair, I do have quite the gaze when I'm just looking at something. A single Alamegan youth. Well, you've certainly given us an admirable start, even if our ranks are yet somewhat thin. In these troubled years following the calamity, talk of Eorzea's salvation must seem akin to grasping at clouds. But there are those who have risen to the challenge nonetheless, and the hope that inspires these people was born no small part from the victories you yourself have won. Thank you, Teha. I will not squander the precious gift you've placed into my keeping. These recruits will become the foundation of a new beginning. And yes, we are free to begin. As you have no doubt surmised, the Sultana has also graced my trial company with her blessings. Our first wave of recruitment is over, the documents signed, and the finances secure. There is naught to prevent me from taking the next step. You are concerned by the Syndicate's involvement, as was I. Okay, so that was news to me, as much as it was, well, for me. Thus was the origin of every coin of their contribution carefully scrutinized and recorded. This organization will not be built on corruption. Naturally, I would prefer not to rely upon outside sources at all, but even my family's substantial coffers could not sustain a venture of this magnitude. And as for the rumors and doubts surrounding this enterprise, well, Such things shall plague us until the company has had a chance to prove its worth. It will not be an easy process, but we will earn people's trust one success at a time. Speaking of time, we should waste no more of it. Let us return to the Rising Stones and lay the first stone for united Eorzea. Pray return to the Awakened Stones. Oh?
Tell me, General, what think you of Alfino's bold endeavor?
I think it is more than bold, Your Grace. His organization would pave the way for a united Eorzea. Well do I understand his impatience, since facing the common threat of the Ultima weapon, our nations have seemed farther apart, not closer together. Considering the many problems we face, should we not be glad that someone else is taking the initiative?
We have all pledged our cooperation, yet the grumbling continues behind closed doors. Ul'dah is not alone in her duplicity. I myself have doubts as to the good this organization will achieve. With the inclusion of the finest soldiers of the 3 grand companies, it promises to be a fearsome military body. But whom will it serve? Even under the watchful gaze of the Scions, it is not unthinkable that such a force could perpetrate a great wrong. Does it not concern you that a significant proportion of its financial backing came from the coffers of the Syndicate? That those unprincipled worms might forge this extraordinary gathering of warriors into a private army?
I have trust in the Scions, Your Grace. They have spared us no end of trouble at the hands of the Primals. If they seek reinforcements, I deem it unwise to deny them. As for their finances, full many gave generously. And though our nobles proffered a sizable sum, their coin did not spill from the pockets of Lolorito and his cronies. And what of the presence of our stalwart adventurer friend in this endeavor? I doubt the Warrior of Light would betray our cause.
Yes, there is that, I suppose. Yet I have known people to change. Whether we will or no, the events of the age hurl us this way and that, like a dust devil skipping across the sands. Cannot be done about Telechi?
I have explored all avenues available to us, Your Grace. But as Ul'dah law now stands, we lack the evidence to convict him of any crime. To arrest him on spurious grounds would only play into his hands.
He has all but committed treason, and yet we can do nothing? Then what good our government? What worth the royal house? How deplorable this mockery of justice!
Have faith, Your Grace. It is not over.
Wonder what that's supposed to mean. I mean, something has to happen, right? Yeah, the guy can't be legally, lawfully convicted of anything, but ultimately, someone's gonna stab him back. So, at least that's how I feel about it. Do I have... Vesper Bay. I still have like 6 envelopes for Vesper Bay of all things. Give me a second. Alright. Freaking... It sucks when you live in a place, in a climate really that allows for any kind of house centipede to exist in your area. Let's put it that way. But at least for now it's taken care of. Also, do not, even if you're the slightest squeamish about bug life in general, do not Google what a house centipede looks like if you don't already know. Save yourself the, as I would say, fascinating as they are physically, they are not pleasant to look at, nor are they welcome here. But it is what it is. What are you guys up to? I think this is the same stuff they were saying last time, yeah? Yeah. Alright. Calm down. Have a cup of the old tea that they're making. Whatever that tastes like. This is not a journey I soon wish to repeat. I cannot pause to rest. Culmination of all our effort is at hand. I must see to the preparations for the inaugural ceremony. Thank you for allowing me to monopolize your services, Teha. I'm certain the antecedent will be relieved to see you free for other duties. Okay. Greetings, Teha. Alphinaud tells me that all is in place to begin his trial company. The Scions shall certainly be grateful to have the support of such an organization. The inaugural ceremony is said to take place here in the Rising Stones. Tantaru is cooperating with Alphinaud to see that all is in readiness, so I'm afraid the recruits themselves have been left to their own devices for the time being. Quite a few number of new faces have arrived in Revenant's Toll of late, and I wonder if Slaftborn might not find himself overwhelmed. Would you speak with him and see if there's aught he requires? Is this the guy that challenged me last time? I think. Maybe. No, different. What can I do for you, Teha? I thought you'd have your hands full helping out with this new arm of the Scions. Ha! I barely noticed your recruits arrive. 'Twas barely a trickle compared to the flood of treasure hunters we have passed through here every day. While I appreciate your offer of aid, 'tis more your burden that concerns me. I'm told this trial company will answer directly to the antecedent, so I trust that means less work for you in the long run. Blackborn, the shipment! We couldn't! Gods, woman, what befell? We... We're bringing a shipment to Revenant's Toll, provisions earmarked for the frontier effort. Yet just as we sought to cross over to Mordona, we were set upon by brigands. I believe they may have been heretics. They were many, too many. We only escaped with our lives by abandoning the supplies. Pray forgive us. It is not to forgive. Provisions can be replaced, but smart soldiers are hard to find. Take your rest and I'll have someone along to tend to those wounds. What to do? If heretics are involved, and this is like to be more than the case of simple thievery, Ishgard will need to be informed. Whence did these supplies originate? House Fortemps. We collected the provisions from Camp Dragonhead proper. Understood. I shall see that they are apprised of this development. Teha, were you not on good terms with the Knights of House Fortemps? We'll be sending them a missive immediately, of course, but I will also have you travel there and offer your considerable talents. Yes, I realized I contradict my earlier hopes to lighten your load, but I need someone who can help bring this incident to a satisfactory conclusion. Our favorable relations with Ishgard are far too important to risk half measures. Thank you for understanding. I'm certain Lord Harchevant? I give up. I will be glad of your assistance. Wow, that looks like a cool mount. It's a shame I can't find out what that is, or what's it called. Yeah, that's pretty neat. So what Oh, that is the wrong quest. It's a shame they have a hard ceiling on how high you can fly. Because I'd love to just get up on there and do what I do in WoW anyways, or what I used to do in WoW, which was go to the highest point and just chill out and see the scenery. Well, if it isn't my fine friend Teha Strife, would you care for a plate of roast karakul? Some mulled wine? No? Ah, I see you've not come to my hall merely to escape the biting cold. I was in fact on the verge of opening an urgent missive from Revenant's Toll, and I suspect the timing of your arrival is no coincidence. We've got some... What kind of stuff is this? That's for a Lancer. To be honest, I actually am digging the Lancer bit. Yeah. I might just take that for the glamour later whenever I get to that class.
The incident with the New Frontier hands? No, you need not elaborate. I have been following their progress with no small amount of interest. Brave men and women all. They do our nation a great service. The existence of a fortified outpost in Mordona will do much to dissuade the Empire from trespassing on Kurth's soil. Right glad am I that you have chosen to lend your support to this endeavor. Never let it be said that House Fortom does not acknowledge the efforts of her allies, or her debts. 'Twas in the spirit of gratitude that I arranged for sundry supplies to be delivered to Revenant's Toll. That the shipment should chance to be waylaid by heretics is poor fortune indeed. Poor fortune, I say, yet not without precedent. If you would know the truth of it, these incorrigible villains grow more organized with each passing day. This new unity of purpose we attribute to their leader, the Lady Iceheart. But though I have devoted significant resources to the task of identifying this woman, we have yet to learn so much as her birth name. What we do know is that the heretics speak of Iceheart in reverent tones, and would gladly embrace death rather than betray her. Such loyalty is rare indeed, and I fear to imagine what so committed a collective might achieve.
Iceheart, eh?
The brigands have not yet been so brazen as to risk direct confrontation here in Dragonhead. Some few of their number have, however, been sighted not far to the west of here, and with ever-increasing regularity. A visit to Whitebrim Front may bring you the answers you seek. Will you brave the snows, knowing what implacable foes may lie in wait? Halone's blessings be upon you! Though I take no pride in the admission, many of mine own countrymen are not so well suited as you adventurers to dealing with such foes. Were they dragons, it might be otherwise. But truly, I could not wish for a finer ally. You have done much for my house in the past, and I have no doubt but that I shall have cause to celebrate your deeds again ere long. Should you learn aught of value,
Just
pray return
nothing.
to me forthwith. A warm hearth and a warmer welcome shall be waiting for you.
Nodders. That's the foundation, isn't it? Yeah. Ever since... It must have been like when I was in the 20s or level 30s or whatever. I've been trying to get into this damn thing. They say what the quest is, but I don't know when that happens. I think it's before the dawn, the quest line is. But I clearly I haven't done it because I still can't get in. I'm level 59. It's clearly some MSQ type stuff that must happen. At least I hope it's MSQ, because if it's like a feature thing, then I won't know when the hell that gets done. Oh, thank God I can fly up. I don't need to walk these steps anymore. Teha, is there aught you would ask of me? Pray speak plainly. I'm a man of action and need no onid words. On the trail of a band of thieving heretics, you say? By the Fury, but you do seem destined to cross paths with those villains. I must confess then, 'tis a sad truth that the wild's whereabouts have indeed grown thick with their number. They strike swiftly without warning and are canny enough to evade our most able trackers. But 'tis not merely their newfound organization that confounds us. The heretics themselves seem somehow changed. I know not what manner of influence this ice heart wields, but the men we face seem utterly lost in the grip of righteous fervor. 'Tis an unsettling and unnatural zeal. Mayhaps you would care to question one of their recent victims. As fate would have it, your arrival came moments after a traitor was waylaid on the road. A patrol found the unfortunate fellow lying senseless in the snow and carried him to our infirmary. Assuming he has regained the use of his faculties, the merchant might recall some small detail that could aid you in your task. Alright. I love how I can just run my chocobo into these people's houses. Tell you what happened? Why yes, of course. I'm quite recovered enough for that. Anything to help catch those cowardly black hearts. I was traveling my usual route to Whitebrim Front when a sudden blow sent me reeling. Next thing I knew, I was on the ground, and several heretics were rifling through my cargo. Arms, armor, crystals. They were taking everything. 'Twas then that one of them noticed my bleary gaze, and stalked over to better acquaint my head with his mace. Before darkness claimed me, however, I distinctly heard the words, "Return to Snowcloak." I dare say this is where they were hauling my goods, but you'll not catch me rushing off in pursuit. They tell me 'twas a miracle I survived at all, and I'll not trust my thick skull to save me a second time. Aha. I mean, appropriate names, Snowcloak, fair enough, but... Alright, what's the deal here? Gah, draw your weapon, foul. Wait, I recognize you, adventurer. You come seeking heretics. Then we share a common purpose. We were on patrol when we chanced upon one of their raiding parties, and pursued them here. By rights, we should have had them cornered in this ravine, and yet they are gone, vanished like icy raids. I always notice someone's watching me, but I don't end up catching them. It's happened a lot in this story. You glimpsed a woman atop the glyph. Could it be Iceheart herself come to sneer at our folly? And to where did she disappear? The heretics must have discovered a passage through the frozen wall, some hidden tunnel that escaped our notice. We have not the men to risk further investigation. 'Twould be best were we to return to Whitebrim Front, and lay our suspicions before Lord Drillmont. So I guess this would be Snowcloak the dungeon. Teha, it appears I owe you my thanks once again. The surviving knights spared no detail in their report. The men you found out near Snowcloak were some of my finest. That they should be bested so handily, I fear I've woefully underestimated the threat these heretics pose. While I understand you might balk at the notion, I must ask that you put aside your mission and consider the stolen provisions lost to us for now. It would be ill-advised to blunder unprepared into what may well be the very lair of our enemy. Pray return to Dragonhead and inform Lord Harchfont of your discoveries. He will wish to plan contingencies of his own. As for Iceheart and her fanatics, the freezing heights of Snowcloak will not shield them from our justice for long. Hell yeah, brother. Alright. I would have loved to, and this is just my understanding as of right now of 1.0 lore, but apparently Coerthus was quite different looking. Like, especially the northern sections where you see off into the horizon and there's, you know, entire cracks and splits of land, or where land used to be, and it's just like ruins of different castles and the like. It's like, if I should see if there are pictures or video of like old Coerthus, 1.0 Coerthus. Because apparently the Calamity made it look the way it does now.
Your return is most timely. Of their own accord, my thoughts had turned to your task and the progress thereof. I confess, my imaginings tended toward the grim and bloody. But you are here now, and I suspect such frivolous wonderings do little justice to the reality of your travails. Tell me, what did you learn of Iceheart? Indeed, and this transpired at Snowcloak? Of all the highlands, that towering wall has borne the worst of the region's brutal shift in climate. So inhospitable has Snowcloak become that we have still to survey the area in its entirety. Could its frozen heights conceal the heretics' hideaway? Mayhap a more robust reconnaissance effort is in order. Putting such considerations aside for the moment, we still know far too little of this Iceheart. That she is capable of commanding such a band of fanatics bespeaks natural authority, and no small measure of charisma. As much as I would like to fathom this mystery with you, the situation has grown beyond my personal purview. I am bound by duty to inform the Temple Knights and request that they bring this matter to its conclusion. Given the glowing reports the new commander has garnered thus far, I am certain that they can be relied upon to take appropriate action. Though Iceheart's true identity yet eludes us, You have provided us with a point from which to begin. Sometimes it takes but a single stone to prompt an avalanche. On the matter of the stolen provisions, I have already made arrangements for a second shipment to be sent to Revenant's Toll. I could not well allow such an honorable venture to be undermined by one miserable setback.
Man, like, amongst already dramatic and over-dramatic people in this story, he literally had to take a stand and walk around to say some words. At any rate, it really does feel like one mystery after another with these patches. 'Tis good to see you return to the toll. How fared you in the frozen wastes of Coerthus? House 4 attempts to send us a second shipment? I must send thanks to Lord Harchfont for his continued generosity. Even as our town grows in prosperity, I fear it will attract ever greater numbers of those who would do us harm in the name of greed or power. All of us, Alphinodes, new recruits included, must remain vigilant against such threats. I'll take that, thank you very much. Oh wow, some of this I can't even use at all. Holy shit. Alright. Oh god, I might have to take that just based on how silly that looks. While you were away in Coerthus, preparations for the inaugural ceremony were all but completed. Although Tataru does yet seem somewhat flustered. She's always flustered, it's fine. I've taken enough of your time. Why don't you head into the Rising Stones and see if your frantic receptionist could do with a hand. These parchments need to be sorted, and these documents, why are they even here? Oh, I'm sorely tempted to file the lot in my waste paper basket. Ah, Teha, you startled me. You wish to lend a hand? Splendid. Would you be a dear and hand these uniforms to the new recruits? They're scattered about Revenant's Toll, and I haven't the time to track them all down. The recruits know to don their garb immediately and assemble here in the Rising Stones. You'll want to report directly back to Alphanod if you don't wish to miss the ceremony. I wonder if the Scions will ever have matching uniforms. A well-funded organization is a well-dressed organization, I suppose. I don't know. I kind of got a life supply of feeling uniform as far as dress code when I when I had 8 years in Catholic school. Technically not, I mean, if you count the little bit of high school, it was like a half a year freshman year in Catholic high school before it was like getting too expensive and I had to get to public school. But anyways, like I was so sick of uniforms as a kid, and I really did not like even the rare occasions I'd have to wear a suit. So yeah. Those who believe this company will see no riches are short-sighted fools. The giving of oneself is an investment in the future. Thus did I sign my name to the cause. I was gonna say, am I gonna have to wait for this guy to unmount? These uniforms were a splendid idea. Once our organization has made a name for itself, there shall be wealth aplenty in selling replica costumes to the adoring masses. Okay. Scarlet garb marks me as a proud member of the Maelstrom, and a hardy defender of Limsa Lominsa. Yet in truth, I stand for the betterment of the realm, and thought this new company a fine opportunity to contribute on a grander scale. A deep blue uniform crafted specifically for Alphanod's new trial organization. Oh ho, now that's a striking shade of blue. Put alongside my Maelstrom uniform, my wardrobe will certainly not lack for color. I guess not. Where's this person? Alright. I don't believe we've met. I'm Ilberd, and I will have the honor of leading my fellow recruits as captain. As much did I lose to the calamity, and I look forward to aiding others in rebuilding their lives. Uniforms are a shrewd decision. There is no easier method of creating a common bond amongst what it is, essentially a band of strangers. Hey, there he is. Hello there, lad. Looking for me, was he? It's just given a whistle, but I'm not sure I'd hear it amongst all the bustle. Whoa ho, proper uniforms and all. This thing will cut off the blood to me head. Not to worry though. I'm sure she'll be fine after making a few adjustments. This man's gonna be like, screw, you're gonna give me a uniform, I'm gonna make my own uniform off it. Little Alamigo could learn much from Revenant's Toll. That this town can be so alive in the midst of such desolation. I've never worn aught quite so voluminous. Well, I'm sure I'll grow accustomed to the extra cloth in time. Hey, Strife. Gods, I did not expect to meet you strolling about town. The tales of your primal battles were what inspired me to become to Revenant's Toll. It is an honor to receive this uniform from your hands. I shall wear it with pride. Isildur has at least retired from the adventurer's life, though I shall miss his wisdom and irrepressible spirit. I'm excited to forge my own path forwards. Ah yes, the uniform, thank you. Truth be told, the thought of pledging myself to such a lofty organization is somewhat intimidating. I thought it best to mimic my fellows here, but I must admit I have no idea what we're supposed to be doing. What are you guys? What is... They're on the lookout for something. Ah, uniforms. I'm reminded of my induction to the Wood Whalers. No, I fail to see what so engages their attention. I mean... Y'all good, or do you want me to take care of something? I mean, whoever would come down the road, I'm assuming, like, just keep watch. I don't know. Yes, Teha. Ah, Tataru mentioned you were handing out the uniforms. I assume you've now met with the rest of the recruits. Some few answered the call to arms I put forth through the established grand companies and such. We are not yet an army, but there is much a small core of elite warriors can achieve. Did I mention I thought of a name for the company? It's my hope that it shall soon be known across the breadth of Eorzea. The moment of truth draws near, Teha. Once the last of the recruits have gathered, I shall make the official announcement.
Comrades, your presence here this day signifies the momentous choice that each of you has made. With your strength now pledged to the scions of the Seventh Dome, you are beholden to no single nation. You stand as the vanguard for a united Eorzea. From this moment forth, I declare you Crystal Braves. Let us mend this fractured realm and face our enemies as one. Whether it be the Beastmen and their primals, or the conflict in Carteneau, it is plain that the nations of Eorzea cannot solve the problems which plague the realm. Thus does it fall to some few heroic souls to succeed where they have failed. Come, take your place at the Scion's side as guardians of Eorzea, and together we shall fight for the freedom of all! For the freedom of all!
A rousing speech, Alphino. Or should I say, Crystal Brave Commander Leveilleur?
Please, Antecedent. The title is honorary. I shall not be leading the troops into battle, as it were. We are of the same purpose. Let us join hands and do what must be done to save this land.
The Scions stand ready. I'm eager to see what the Crystal Braves might accomplish. This shall prove an interesting time indeed for the Scions. Yes, I'm listening. So our worst fears are confirmed. The entire Isle. Such power defies comprehension. Truly? Kryl is alive? Thank the 12. I see. Pray, inform me if her condition changes. Yes, I shall pass on your words to Urianger. My thanks. I shall contact you anon. When I learned of the loss of the Isle of Val, I dared not hope that my friend had survived. Yet, by some miracle, it would seem she has. She's still to regain consciousness, it is true, but better that than death. Putting this happy news to one side, we must now endeavor to make sense of the readings taken by the survey party. It appears the etheric disturbance which accompanied the Isle's destruction is of a magnitude alarmingly close to that of Ultima. Could the Ascians be responsible for this devastation as well? I wonder, have you heard aught from the Mother Crystal since the battle with the Garleans? Then she speaks to neither one of us. Heidel's silence portends naught but ill, I fear. Louisoix, I pray you yet watch over us.
But wait, there's more. Very good. See that the provisions are prepared for transport. Let us hope that this shipment is spared the fate of the last. The winds are uncommon, fierce this day. It's the Ice Lady. Or not. Can I get that hat as a glamour? Maybe? What? Orzia defended. A new chapter of New Game Plus has been added. That's funny, because I completely forgot New Game Plus existed.